So you guys, city council, getting ready to vote, and I would assume from everything I hear, pass the 4%. Is it 4% for Shreveport Police? Is that right?
Yeah, it looks like it's 4% to the 10% between the top, like the upper levels, like around, like after corporal, like the sergeant to lieutenant, there's like a 10% between those. But it's still kind of low on that bottom end. And it's a 4%, but they're saying 6% because you've also got the 2% longevity. Walk us through the compromise process. I guess it's a compromise. You had wanted more originally, and so had Michael Carter. And well, yeah, but it's not just that. I wanted more, and the conversations I thought we established is that the goal was to keep a bigger raise on the bottom to retain the entry level and just above entry level, and we still haven't done that, so I'm kind of confused. But we did have a conversation where I was like, look, like I already know that nothing, like we can take the same amount of money, we can structure it differently to be more effective for retaining on that bottom end, but ultimately what's going to pass is whatever has the blessing of the administration. Otherwise, we're just going to keep having a circus at council meetings, and I don't want to keep doing that. So for me to jump ahead and say, this is a done deal, the behind-the-scenes maneuvering, the voting, the canvassing has all been done for the next meeting to pass the raise, is that there's not a number settled on? I think that everyone thinks that they've got the votes to do what they need to do, and they expect it to pass unanimously. I see no reason to put up some monumental amount of resistance. But I also think that it's going to take a lot of hope that this actually does what we need it to do. Like, if the goal is retention, I hope that they have done what they think they need to do to actually retain officers. But is that really going to happen with this structure?
You're going to hear Dr. Carter and others say that this doesn't even get you in line with Bossier. So you're still going to have officers fleeing and going elsewhere where they can make more money. Is that a huge concern for you, that you're doing something, but it's not going to work? Yes, it is a concern. But I feel like we're getting into Kenny Rogers' chorus area, you know, knowing to hold them, fold them, walk away. Yeah. I can leave Resolution 100 on the table. Resolution 128 is still on the table. Those things will still be there. If we get to a point where we're still losing officers and we need to do something different, those discussions can always be had again. But right now, it's time for us to move to a different day where this discussion changes. What I hope no one thinks is that we can go from here where we still don't have a revenue source. We're using CARES funding to at least cover the overtime on top of the 32 positions that we're still going to lose. And we still haven't done enough to achieve what that original goal is. I hope no one is thinking that we have a state delegation that will unanimously support a sales tax, removing the sales tax cap, so that we can put a sales tax on the ballot. Because I don't think that we have that. Okay. And I don't think that we need to have that. I hope no one thinks that no one's thinking that this is going to be enough of a stopgap so we can stall until we can try to raise a tax. I hope no one's thinking that that's what's going on here. You just slipped something in. That is not something I will abide. You slipped something in that scares me. You said we're using the CARES Act money to pay for overtime. I'm still trying to get an understanding of that. So don't let me get out here. What would Grandma say? Don't let me tell a story. Okay. But we are using some portion of CARES Act in order to make the ends meet on what they're doing right now. But that's not recurring revenue. That has to throw up a huge red flag. Look, we could be sitting at the Glenwood right now having the same conversation if they were open. I'd be like, yeah, girl, you're totally right.
Ms. Levette, as far as the raise for fire department goes, that's going to be sort of reallocated EMS money. What are we taking away from to pay for those fire raises?
Again, I think that my understanding is that we were originally the administration was looking to take some of the money that had been earmarked for equipment and put that towards this. But again, I think it all does come back to whatever stopgaps they can do with the CARES funding. What is your message to police officers today and firefighters who say, thanks, that's nice, but? Well, the thing is, I'd like to hear from them. I'd like to actually hear from them that it's St. Foot Nights, but I think the numbers are still telling the story. We are now down, like as of last week, we lost 3 more police officers. We're now down 99 officers. Like out of what we're budgeted, we're down almost 100. And I've got people calling me and saying, you know, why are the response times lagging? Why is no one paying attention to the gunshots that we're hearing? And this is on both sides of I-49. Like, I've got a lot of frustrated people. I'm like, well, we've got to do our part to retain officers. This isn't about what this is no longer just a matter of you're making enough money to live in Shreveport. It's a matter of it's too easy to poach our officers to parts unknown. It's too easy for our officers to be lured away for money at a time when we really need public safety.